You guys come back into the mechanical workshop that Briar conjures up at his own convenience. Peeling away, him giving a little two-fingered salute as he disappears with it, vanishing, leaving you guys in a gas station on the outskirts of New St. Cheshire. I believe you had acquired the information that Colleen and Associates were in the southern reaches of New St. Cheshire, but if not, then spoiler.
We did get that info.
Good.
Yeah.
I recall that coming up.
We certainly know where to go.
That ends. You guys are released. The snowstorm is still going on as it has been. It is currently the, I believe, 21st? Yes, it is the 21st. It is the morning. The faintest rays are breaking through the outside. By this point, you also would have noticed that, whereas whenever you guys started this, whenever the snow was at its thickest, it was effectively impossible to tell what time of day it was. The sun couldn't breach through the massive layer of snow from the outside, through the blizzard canopy that's covering the area. You do notice that you can somewhat tell when the sun is up and coming in from the outside, even in this area still covered in the blizzard coming from the spire that's nearby. You've noticed the overall blizzard with two of the gates shut down. The overall blizzard has thinned considerably. It is still dangerous, though. Not that it matters, it sends you a Marile.
We need another car.
I don't know if my heart can handle it, but we do need another one, yes.
You'll have to
It's
handle
gonna
it.
happen.
Toots.
Toots.
I should just offer a feat for Nicolo to take, which is finds cars when needed.
Just take the spell, find car.
I don't know if you can take it, but I'll make you a
Steed.
deal. If you cast Find Steed ever, I will allow you to find cars with it.
Summons a car.
Find greater steed gets you better cars.
I'm going to cast my spell. Pulls out like the little like push button thing and like sets off an alarm. There it is. So I suppose we are as good as we can get going out there. You're going to stick here, Briar?
He vanished. Whenever the Rumblejack vanished,
okay.
he went with
there
it.
you go.
He's gone.
He's gone for the. I'm just. It's.
You just turned around
Rise,
expecting Briar, didn't you?
Yes, I've been looking over here.
As you turn around to look for him, you notice that there's no sign of Briar within the gas station. However, you do notice that the ice cream cooler that he'd been taking the SpongeBob's out of went with him. It is gone.
I was just looking out here toward the morning sun, and I just got distracted. Oh, all right then.
All right.
Marile snuck one last Nestle drumstick. She is still grumpy.
No problem.
Guess we should get looking then.
See if we can find some worthy transportation, or if there's anything nearby. As we're looking, we can investigate, but we need to find something, that's for sure. If we run into another one of those dinosaurs, I'd like to be able to drive away from it.
I guess. If you don't
Beep,
like
beep.
fun.
I don't like it. If that's fun, I don't like it. He goes to go outside.
As you go out, as you go to open the front door to this place, Nicolo, as you push it open, two things happen. One, the glass on one of the doors just shatters from the cold, becomes brittle enough that it just breaks apart, and the door that you push open just falls off one of its hinges.
Guess I don't know my own strength.
As this happens, there is a faint buzzing sound from behind you, just a as the lights in this gas station all flicker out one by one. As if the casual maintenance of a certain person had been keeping this place alive on its last legs.
Yeah, that's what it is. Lick, poke muscle, walks away.
Okay, so just to understand...
Oh, right, the ice cream!
You fucking walked up to you and licked you?
I was like, what? I was like, what?
Poke.
Wow.
I forgot.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I was stunned for a second. I'm like, what?
That's hilarious.
I'm sorry. I jump into the snow. Whenever we have made our way here, this is like a gas station on like the edge of the district here. Have I been around this place enough to potentially think of where I could go to find some sort of vehicle?
Yeah. I mean, you would have been here before, because there's a lot of residential areas here, so you probably had to deliver out this way more than most places. That said, I want to quickly check, just with some background details, because I'm pretty sure Theo and Arden, I'm relatively certain that you guys would know this area fairly well too, because this is, like, moving out and around here is where you guys would have met. Theo would have been, like, skulking around this area during that period before they met up with Arden originally, so you would also have a general understanding of this place and the overall layout of it with the snow, so you could probably get your bearings better than most people. Between the two of you, I'd say both of you, why don't you roll me wisdom checks to see if you can remember where the nearest car lot is. I'm sure with your luck, it's not far. Theo, for the purposes of what we're doing, we'll say that, given where it is, like usual, there's probably a used car lot, or a discount car lot somewhere within, maybe, you are on the outskirts, so you would have to travel a bit to get into the city. Probably about a square on foot to get into the city properly, but once you're there, you could probably find one pretty immediately.
If I remember right, there was one sort of this away.
Yeah, I think I remember there something being something.
I hid
there.
underneath some of the cars so that no one would see me sometimes.
I remember.
Uh-huh.
I remember.
Oh, that's good information. Thank you. I guess we
Games of hide
should...
and seek were very intense.
Well, some of the time I was hiding there so that I didn't get, like, killed and shit. But it did become hide and seek once I had Arden.
It's true.
I don't remember there being much of anything this far out, so we might have to trek a bit, but I think that we should be fine as long as Marile is keeping up their heat going through her.
Arden, roll a d12.
Yes! A 1.
That is a 1, you're right.
Yeah.
You've killed us all.
Nice. Finally.
Or you saved us all. Who knows?
Getting into town, you guys move about 40 minutes in, you kind of start to come to the slightly more populated outskirts. The gas station you were at seemed to be more of a, on your way in, your way out of town sort of pit stop. As you proceed forward, you get to an area that you recognize as not being residential, but there's the occasional warehouse, what looks like small factories, maybe looks like garages as you pass by them. I'd like everybody to please roll me perception. As you go by, all of you occasionally hear the sounds of what sound like helicopter blades in the distance. Occasionally moving around you hear them echoing from the distance. Occasionally they seem like they're coming from directly overhead, but too far overhead for you to see them through the cover of the snow. Nicolo, you do, with your superior perception at one point, you almost get this feeling like hair standing up on the back of your neck as you just feel the presence of other Order members. Not a feeling that you remember having, not something that you remember happening way back, but you just get this sensation that you unconsciously recognize as being the presence of other Order members, and you find yourself looking in that direction. You see the shadow of what looks to be one of the same helicopters moving in the distance, not seemingly following you, not looking around for you. It just seems to be patrolling. At one point you see what looks like a searchlight coming down from it in the distance. The others don't pay close enough attention to be able to spot it directly. It's never more than, well, it never comes closer than 500 feet away from you, and considerably far up as well. But given that, you do manage to continue forward, and you eventually reach the edge of the proper town, where you start to bump into stores, public businesses, things that aren't just industrial park facilities. I would like an investigation check from the two who rolled earlier, so Theo and Nicolo. Could you guys roll me investigation checks?
See, I'm not very good at these.
I'm poopy at these.
Yeah, I'm not very good at these
I
at
have a
all.
-3. But I got a burp.
Oh, let's go!
Oh shit!
Oh
My
God.
dick.
I'm sick and tired of you, Nicolo.
Hilarious.
Why do you
So
seek to
stylish,
just one-up
Nicolo.
Theo at every fucking turn?
It's not my fault, it's my arc right now, alright?
Another less supernatural, more intuitive feeling. Hairs stand up on the back of your neck. Your car's senses tingle. You guys find your way through the streets, following signs that could only be the telltale signs of a wild car safari somewhere nearby. Following their tracks like a hunter, you eventually arrive at what looks to be a discount car lot. Like the other ones, ravaged, most of the cars destroyed. You did get a 20. I'm gonna factor that in luck-wise. As you look around, you do come to encounter
A limousine tank?
you do come to encounter what kind of vehicle are you looking for?
Like usual, we're probably looking for some kind of a van or some kind of a large vehicle. That way it could accommodate all of us, and especially Geno's with how you know big and bulky the boy is.
Find a monster truck.
Manny's got soccer practice later.
So
Does
it
a
will
monster truck at this used car lot?
Yeah.
we most likely look for something like that, or even something like some kind of either a van or like a delivery vehicle or something like that.
Okay.
It says here if you can pee 6 feet straight up without getting wet, they'll give you a car for free.
Huh.
Well,
Why does it say that?
Someone is into something very odd.
Underneath
like
it,
it.
it says, fuck you, Baltimore. I think they're in the wrong town.
The hell is happening?
As you search, most of what you find is destroyed. As you look through the damage, Nicolo, again, you got a 20, so I'll give you most of this. As you look around, you find that this damage doesn't seem to have just been caused by the tectonic shifts. You see there is a series of... There's areas where it looks like the ground is almost scarred and ripped open, as if there'd been some kind of conflict. You notice that there are places where there are just these smatterings of indentations in the ground that after you look at for a second, you note to be similar to the patched up damage to the stadium from where Adric and the others had said that the demon Lucifer had attacked, where it had left a hole in the area. As if a myriad of small blade-like projectiles had collided with the ground. Several of the cars have these punctures through them as if these blades had struck straight through them. They're fairly long, leaving most of the vehicles inoperable in some sense or another. However, you do find, after some degree of searching, a old but relatively functional-looking SUV.
Well, that's lucky. Everything else here seems to be a part of a graveyard. But it seems that this one here was lucky. Well, Arden, get in the passenger seat and start reading your girly magazine. He goes in the driver's seat.
You go in the driver's seat. You are now sitting in a SUV with no keys.
Time to do the hot one. I'm coming. We're in a car lot, right?
Yeah.
He looks it over, tries to check for anything in the
Offices?
vanity and stuff like that. Yeah, just looking around. Whenever he doesn't see anything. Oh, okay.
Roll me another investigation check.
Let's go!
Can I help?
Another really great
He said he's doing it.
investigation
We'll let him
from
do it.
me.
No.
I'm great.
Tired of your shit.
You go in, you find them, you quickly look through them, and you locate the keys for this particular SUV.
Oh, they
You-
just left it. They just left it on the dash.
Oh, you're looking in the SUV?
I was like, looking.
Oh, I
in
thought
the-
you meant you were gonna go to the offices. You know what?
I said the offices.
Yeah, and I thought he was going with it.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. You know what? It's totally fine. Same outcome either way. You look around. At one point, you just kind of you look in the glove compartment. You can't find it. You look on the dash. You look in the keys. You look between the seats when you can't find it. With a moment of frustration, not like incredible anger, you just hit your hand on the steering wheel, cause a small shake, and as you do, the I don't even know what they're called at this point. I feel like I should. The flap that is above you in the front seat just kind of falls down open, and the keys just fall down with a jingle.
It's
on
fall
them.
from the sun visor.
The sun visor? Is that what those are called?
Yeah.
I have not. I've just I don't know cars. I don't know sports, and I don't know cars.
They're always in the shade flap.
It's just like and then it's just like falls out. It's like, oh,
Good job.
found them.
It's where it's put when you're in a cool action movie.
All right, you get in. You turn the key several times. The SUV does stall due to its inactivity and being frozen, but eventually you turn it. The engine hums and roars, and it starts up.
There you go.
I'm sure we'll have this for such a long time.
Yep.
Why must you hurt me?
I'm just calling it like I sees it, Nico.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go find Colleen.
Let's go.
Alrighty, where are you guys going?
We're going to the house.
Now.
Going down south.
Ow.
We're going on a road trip.
Give us a southern
Shady's
feel.
warehouse is where Nicolo delivered pizzas to suspect people of suspicious intent.
I reckon we're going to the south.
Yeah.
Alright.
What in tarnation?
What in tarnation are we doing down there?
Be tempting.
Anna, roll me a d12 twice.
I get to roll 2? Oh, I fuck.
Hey, look, it's 7-Eleven.
Wanna go?
Seven looks over, lights are briefly on. You once again see just the silhouette of Briar inside, grabbing an ice cream case. The lights flicker out,
And
he's
then
gone.
disappear.
Yeah, he's just,
We just be under like every
he's just
fucking
a
food
phantom
place we drive
stealing all
by.
the ice cream in the town. Oh, jeez.
Who else but Briar?
It didn't happen unless you wanted it to. Nicolo, as you're driving, you find yourself moving through the central area of New St. Cheshire, which is where the buildings get the largest. It's not a city by any standards, like there's no skyscrapers, but the buildings do come up, 5-6 stories at their highest. As you're passing by what would ostensibly be the town hall for New St. Cheshire, you briefly see something move. The shadow of the building seems to change and shift, and as you look over towards it, you see what looks to be a very large humanoid silhouette carrying what looks to be a very large shield on one arm move from on top of it, as if having stayed there as a sentinel, and you see, from the distance you're at, since your passive's high enough, you see two eyes light up with red light.
Oh.
And then you see what looks like a very large red lance of energy also ignites, lightsaber style.
No, no,
As you
no,
recognize
no.
the form of one of the Angelos that you fought whenever you were inside of the tower at the very end, the massive 12-foot tall ones. As you see it, there is a moment. It is a few hundred feet away from you at this point, but there is a moment of wondering if it's going to recognize you, wondering if it's going to see you. And then you see it. Its body is outlined with reddish light for a second, and it leaps up into the snow cover above you, heading in your direction. You hear the sound of it moving, as if it rocketing off from where it was caused a shockwave, and you hear just the sound of it sailing through the air, that you can't see it up above the vehicle. I'd like to know what you'd like to do.
Floor it.
You're gonna floor it?
Oh my god, I love you.
It's like it's up above the vehicle, it jumped at us, floor it. Try to make it miss.
I would like you to please roll me a, let's say, we'll make this a dexterity check.
Come on, Dex.
You begin to floor it, and as you do, Gino, you see out the back windows as he begins to move faster. And no one except for Nicolo would have noticed this. So from your perspective, Nicolo would have just suddenly become frantic and floored it. As it happens, there is a crash behind you as you see the Servitor Angelo strike down into the ground, lance first, piercing into the ground and about 50 feet behind you. Like, it almost strikes, but due to the speed you're moving at, it's quickly put, about 50 feet is put between you as it tries to impale the SUV. The ground shakes under the vehicle's feet. As you move away, it looks up towards you, takes out the lance, points it towards you, and it starts running after the SUV.
We got a big boy.
Shoot him! Shoot him! Shoot him! Shoot
What
him!
would you like to do?
I
I'll
would
pull
like
out my
to
gun and try to shoot him.
I was gonna climb over the seats and like lean out the window with Magistrate and try to shoot.
Imagine just like everyone but Nicolo going out from there, just unloading shots.
Reminder, this is
Like
what
we're
you're
in a
dealing
mafia movie.
Dude, I love it. Hold monster exists.
with. It does.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just end this right now.
So, she will use hold monster since it's within a range of 90 feet. And
Alrighty.
hope that it's stupid.
Alrighty, go ahead and target it on the combat tracker and roll it. As it rushes towards you, it leaps up into the air. It uses you guys had seen it before when it fought you. It had several charges that it could use to empower its movements. It once again glows with this reddish outline and rockets up into the air, and as it's coming down at you, it flips its laser lance upside down as if it's going to stab it. You just open the window, look out of it, point your hand towards it. Various coils from the Serpent of Lust appear around it, binding its limbs in place. You see it freeze up, and then it just falls as if ragdolling off to the side of the SUV. As you guys keep on driving, as it just stays on the ground. Go ahead and apply the effect to it. It failed.
Oh yeah!
Logan, I have no idea how it happened. But it says I have 120 temporary health.
I gave you that to represent the SUV.
No! It has less health than me!
It has less health than me.
Well, I mean, you don't have to completely destroy a vehicle to make it not
That's
work
true.
anymore.
That's
That's very true.
So, I would end it there, except I'm counting the vehicle's turn to be on Nicolo's turn, and its turn is next. So, it is going to roll against the effect. It is just staying as if frozen on the side of the road as you guys continue to drive away. You see its reddish glow vanishing. Does anyone... So, Fio, Gino, and Arden, just collectively, you guys are next before it. Is there anything you guys would like to do?
I want to think that I'm not even aware of it.
Well,
You're
Gino
not
just
aware of me
yelled
yelling,
that
"Shoot
there
it,
was a
shoot it,
big
shoot
boy
it."
out back.
You're just, yeah, no, you're just
Big boy.
really, really consumed in this BTS article.
Hold on, I'm reading.
How about
I'm
how
reading
far
about
is he?
Jimin.
About how far is he? Once again, it is, because I narrated it like colliding, or almost colliding with a van, I'd say it's about, again, 50, 40 feet away.
Okay, cool. I was just seeing if it was going to be my short range or my long range for
The cast of
Magistrate.
friends are having their third reunion.
Oh wow! I don't know who they are. I'm gonna
I
lean
don't
out the
either.
window.
Just like half of Theo leaning out the window. I'm gonna shoot him.
Go ahead.
Just gonna hold on to Theo so she doesn't fall out of the car.
Thank you.
Just holding on to her butt. Yep. Butt pillow. Activate. Yep.
That's a hit. That's a 32. I should hope it hits.
I was gonna say.
I believe you upgraded Magistrate, right?
I
one of the
did
things.
to
Yeah.
+3.
Alrighty. Go ahead and roll damage.
Creature with weapon attack, that means I'm gonna put a pointed grip, baby. Take damage, you son of a bitch.
You fire, you deal 21 damage to it, you fire at it. You see as it gets hit, you're getting far enough away that with all the snow, you just kind of see this of snow, this eruption of it nearby, but you're pretty confident you hit it.
Cool. I have one more. Morley, hold on to me. I got one more.
Holding.
Pew! That's a 4.
That misses.
Not chance.
Do we
I
have
like made a
advantage
pop
on
of
it?
snow. They can't see him.
Just imagining we hit a bump and then Marley had to like grip
What?
on harder and like feel just like
It's-
Okay.
And I'm gonna like worm back into the car and like sit on the floor.
Alright.
Yeah.
Since Arden's
Okay.
apparently distracted, Gino.
I'm gonna summon my echo outside of the car, 30 feet away.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna have it move as far as it can to get up next to this boy.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have it swing a few times. So if I can...
poor boy.
Yeah, fuck this boy though.
Yo, he jumped at us. This is self-defense.
Yeah.
That's
oh shit!
That's a crit!
Crit!
It was already gonna be a crit. And
You
then
fucked with the wrong mom van.
and then you rolled 2 crits. What the fuck?
Hell yeah!
You deal 42 points of damage to it.
I love this
Okay.
game.
Because you crit it as you strike it, as you had seen happen when you fought it before, part of its body breaks away, its shield is smashed off.
Oh right, because it's vulnerable to critical
Yeah.
damage. Oh yeah. Have another one, bitch.
Bitch.
That's a hit.
Oh,
and it's
oh my
a-
gosh.
And it's another
A
crit.
double number again.
It's another crit.
Oh yeah.
You strike
There.
again, you deal 40 more points of damage to it.
I'm going all the way. Unleashing Carnation.
Let's go! You could also action surge if you want.
I could if I wanted to really go
That's a
ham.
hit. It takes 38 more points of damage.
Wow.
You know
It's
what?
fine,
Short
Gino, you
rests
can
are
sit
5 minutes. I'm gonna action surge.
No duh.
It's like, you know what I found back here? Opens the back of the car, just an MG42.
Yeah.
Gino's got just reading my magazine in the front. Like, see, Gino's got this.
I'm
Right,
maxed
we
out,
have a Gino. Why was I
unfortunately.
worried?
That's another natural crit. You do another 39
God.
points of damage.
What the fuck?
Have some more.
Flips through the air.
That is a hit.
Arden slowly licks his finger and turns a bit.
That's enough. You deal 43 more points of damage.
Wow.
Unleashing Carnation.
What the fuck?
I've decided this man must die.
That's a hit. What the way this sequence of events goes, just for the sake of continuity, is it leaps through the air, it runs after the SUV, leaps into the air to attack. As it does, Marile pops out of the window, puts her hand up towards it, closes it. As it does, Serpent of Lust strands coil around and bind it in place. As it's falling down towards them, Theo pops out, takes several shots at it, knocks it back through the air. And then Gino just kicks open the back of the SUV. One of his echoes soars out towards it, and very much in the style of Cloud taking down Sephiroth via Omni-Slash at the end of Advent Children, just a series of clones of Gino strike it through it, disappearing, appearing on the other side, cutting into it, until as you guys continue to drive away, just a raining hail of just parts of the Angelo falls down into the snow. Its head falling just in front of the camera as its eyes
Nice.
flicker out. While the
I
SUV
turned the page
drives
for my
away.
magazine.
Yeah.
Helmet just lands on the hood ornament of the car. Fucking.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice job, everyone. Not this one.
I didn't think I'd be awarding you red orbs, but I'm going to be.
I thought it was just gonna be a runaway type situation, but I guess not.
And Marty had other ideas.
And then Gino and
Gino
Monilay
refused.
happened.
I'm going to round up, given the situation.
Fucking wow.
Everybody gains
Wow.
1,666 red orbs.
Fuck
Nice.
yeah.
All I did was sit in my chair.
Have fun with
Gino,
those free red orbs.
It was above your level in CR, so Gino would like you to also gain a another style point for killing it.
I can't.
Well, it is what it is.
I appreciate.
Gino
I
doesn't
appreciate
need a
the
devil
gesture.
trigger. Gino is the devil trigger.
All right. And you keep driving.
What happened? I blinked.
Oh, there was one of those big Angelo dudes, the ones with like the shield and the lance and shit. And he like jumped over the car, and then Marile made him go, psh, and he like stopped moving, and then I leaned out the window and shot him a bunch, and then Gino happened.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but the thing on the front here, the little machine is saying triple S for some reason.
Ah.
Huh.
Oh, it just left, don't it?
Means you gotta check your brake lights.
In other news, apparently this Ross guy, just the worst.
Oh,
Not a lot of people like him.
Alden,
Hmm?
I have a question.
What's your question?
I'm not gonna make fun of you like everybody else, but
Mm-hmm.
you just seem really interested in your magazine, and I'm just curious why you wanted to read it so much.
It's just something to do, you know. It's just something to pass the time while we're driving. I'm not actually interested in this stuff.
Are you doing the pop quiz on the back?
Of course, I'm not.
Arden, it's okay if you are. There's nothing wrong with it.
He's like covering up the answers on the back that he's penciled in.
She's gonna like crawl between the seats and like lean up to him, just kind of like poke him in the cheek.
Your face is all red.
No,
Yeah.
your face is all red.
I know. I know it is.
That's crazy. No.
Also, in that same vein, because you're reading and I know you like to read, would you teach me to read?
I could teach you to read. It's
Yeah?
a bit of a process, sure, but we could do that.
Okay.
15 ways to please your man. What are you reading?
Nothing. It's informative.
It sounds so.
I mean, it sounds cool.
Yeah.
You should read it out loud. I want to hear too.
No,
That's not
I was.
necessary.
Will you read it to me?
Maybe not this section.
Why not?
That's one more you put into
Giovanni,
practice.
Mm. Hmm.
Especially
True.
this page over here.
Just like flips into a random one of the freaking text.
Rob
Especially
is like
this one.
leaning over.
That one you have to put into practice.
You've read this
can't just-
before, haven't you?
I've read everything before.
Wait,
God
what
damn
does it say?
This is
Sorry,
from
what
2
does
months
it
ago,
say?
Arden.
What?
We have a subscription.
Oh.
The hell is a subscription?
It
I don't
means
know
you
what that
pay to
is.
get these in the mail.
Oh.
Huh.
Mhm.
These things come in the mail?
Mm-hmm.
I wish I knew about them. I mean,
Oh.
no, I don't.
I mean, if I stick around, we could always get one of these subscriptions.
Subscrumptious.
I said it wrong, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
No.
Oh.
No.
Though sometimes they throw it as part of a package when you do another kind of subscription, like the one that gets you the nice wine.
Nice
Ooh.
wine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fancy.
Never had wine.
Eat an acquired taste.
Yeah?
It's alright. Wouldn't
So,
recommend it.
what did that section about practice say?
Nothing. It just says, you know, in order to I think we should move on to a different section of the magazine. It's fine. We don't. It's not necessary.
Yeah,
Oh, this
tell us
section
about-
has pictures.
Tell us about that
No,
Ross
don't look at
fellow.
the pictures. Wrestling the magazine away
didn't-
from Manny.
Nanny, what did it say?
I don't know. I wish before I could see. There was a lady, and that's all I saw.
Okay.
That's all you needed. And I'm just. We'll talk about this later.
Okay.
All right. Good. Gets into a corner. Reads.
Of the vehicle.
I just like tucked with his like knees up in
Yeah.
the freaking front seat, like don't perceive me.
Exactly. Don't look at me.
Just like looks over to Marile, nudge nudge, says under breath, Giovanni amore,
Huh?
Huh?
young love.
Oh, I understand. La juventud.
Please.
The hell did you say?
Nada. No, nada. Just a prayer.
For what?
World peace.
He's just snickering.
That's a noble thing to wish for. The Knights of Ulysses are supposed to do that, kinda.
Yeah?
Well, I guess we don't really stop people from fighting people, but we stop monsters like demons and devils from fighting people. And sometimes we make them fight themselves.
Oh.
Huh.
I was always scared of the Knights of Ulysses, but after meeting everyone, guys are kind of great.
A silver
Try not
arrow
to,
strikes into the front of the SUV.
Ah!
Just strikes into the very front, into the hood of it as you say that, with enough force that when it impacts, the windshield cracks slightly.
Not again!
Looking at it,
You're gonna wanna see him again.
looking at it at the front of it as it does the roll me a dexterity save, Nicolo.
The move.
Oh.
Yep. Let's go.
As it does, the SUV begins to swerve a bit from the sudden impact and hit, and as you move, you manage to get it back on course. What would you like to do in response to this?
Which direction did it come from?
You
Just
cannot
like directly
tell.
in front? Okay.
1 second there was no arrow there, and the next second an arrow struck it.
Floor it. Oh no, attack!
Manny, I'd like you to roll a perception check, and I'd like a dexterity check from Nicolo. As you floor it, you've been driving a while at this point. As you floor it, you continue to speed away, heading south, down farther into the southern reaches of the town in response to this arrow striking the SUV. As you do, Manny, you get a look out of the back of the vehicle. As you look up, you see a figure on top of one of the, just one of the warehouses you pass by. This two-story one, you see on top of it what looks to be the fluttering cape of an individual. Looks to be relatively humanoid. Could you roll me a wisdom check?
Ooh.
Wisdom the heck out of them. 15.
You recognize them. For a second, from the silhouette and the very basic colors you can see, you recognize the style of dress and the weapon that they're wearing, which you see that they have just a, they look to have a bow that has these reinforcements on them. There's a scope on part of it, there's 2 strings to it, and you see this fluttering grayish-black cloak, tattered on the ends, fluttering in the wind underneath a Knights of Ulysses uniform, as you recognize one of the people that you would commonly bump into, serving under Colleen. You recognize a man named Vamos, who is a quiet individual. You've never had a conversation that they've reciprocated very much, but you see them as you continue to drive away, speeding into the distance. You see their silhouette just
grab
vanish.
Nicolo and shake him and say, "Vamos, vamos!"
I'm going! I'm going!
You fool!
Man, what do you want?
It's vamos!
I'm Vamanos! I understand! I'm going!
It's behind us!
What?
Roof vamos!
He's like gonna look back, sees this, just like kind
By
of.
the point he brings this up, it's far enough away that you can't see this figure in among the snow.
I cast Misty Step, so I'm on the hood of the car, and I pull the air, like the arrow out of the windshield. You hear,
I will try to slow the car without.
No, wait.
No,
I have an idea.
Okay.
Can I use Serpent of Lust to just slide out of the car, grab Manny, and just sloop him back in? Like
Roll
freaking
me-
monkey long legs, just
roll
come
me-
in.
Roll me an athletics check as if grappling him.
Oh my god. Where is my
Skill tab.
athletics? This is gonna go so wrong.
Oh no.
I'm gonna roll a passive DC real quick. That's not good. So, Manny, roll me a dexterity save.
Oh no.
As this happens, as you try to slow the car, you find it stalls much faster than you expect it to, and you see Manny just and just off the front of the hood flies forward. As it does, the Serpent of Lust comes out of one of the windows. It rolls down very rapidly, wraps around Manny, pulls him in the air back towards it, and he gets pulled and just hits the window, body against the SUV.
Emmanuel!
Oh god.
Stop the fucking van!
Stop in the fucking van!
It's stopped. It is stopped.
Stupid drop on a time brakes!
Go out the front of Manny.
Yeah,
Manny,
get
you
out, get
okay?
Nah.
Hey, why did we stop? Oh, what happened to the car?
Does Gino recognize that name at all, Vamos, or no?
Yeah, you would know Vamos.
So, wait, Vamos, you saw him here?
Yeah, right? I said Vamos, he sped up.
I thought you were saying Vominos!
To be fair, vamos also means go.
It's true.
I have no idea what you mean.
Where'd you again?
Okay, so...
So I think we found where the knights are, roughly. That was one of them that shot us, I guess. Maybe he didn't know who we were. Probably didn't know who we were.
Maybe we should get out so they can see you guys?
I am out.
They were a ways back.
I'm not. I meant we as like. All
The royal
Oh.
we.
The royal we. Sorry.
Manny, is anything broken? Are you alright?
The window.
Who cares about the window?
You do. You said, why always the window?
Grab,
I would
hug,
rather the window other than you!
grab, hug.
Sana colita de rana. No sé sana se sale de mañana.
I understood tomorrow. That one
Feel-
I understood.
Theo's gonna step out of the van and just like look, or at the SUV, what is it? And like stand facing where we had come from and just shout out like,
Vamos!
There
was
is
a silent roll.
There is a long silence, and then just the sound of as an arrow comes out of the snow and strikes into the back tire of the SUV, and then just a dead silence as that side of the SUV lists down as the air comes out of the tire very slowly.
You fucking dick!
We have Imani and Gino, Angelo. Your friends and our friends.
Hold on. I know how
Okay.
to make sure he knows it's us.
I'm holding on.
Okay. Also, do we have a spare tire?
I'm checking the back.
Alright. Anyways, I'm gonna point vaguely in the direction of Vamos, and I'm just gonna fire off my ring.
Roll for
I
an
knew
effect.
Oh no!
I mean,
This'll show
Kind
them
of-
who we are.
this is kind of a surefire way, really.
I become big.
I mean,
You become very big. You become large, Emmanuel, but you still can't see him through the snow.
What is that like? Make your eyes better so you can see him?
No.
Oh.
Well,
You
fuck.
hear the scraping of boots on concrete, and you guys faintly see the silhouette of this individual walking through the snow slowly towards you. Difficult to hear them, difficult to hear much given the blizzard around you out of a certain distance, but you see them approaching. As they do, you see this to be a man in his late 30s. They look to be, their head is shaved. They have a hood that's pulled up over it that is part of this ragged, dark cloak that looks to be very dark blue that they wear around their body. Again, you see rather than a modern weapon, a bow seems to be strapped to their back, though it is deep black and looks to be something you'd expect Hawkeye to use effectively as they walk forward. There's a relatively uncaring look on their face as they get just within view of you all, maybe 30 feet away. Look up towards the very large Emmanuel. You've grown since last I saw you.
I'm a fast grower.
See, we weren't lying. I wasn't lying. Hello.
You have a demon with you.
Listen, you know about Gino, okay?
I'm not talking about Gino.
Arden's alright. He's only half.
Everyone here is cool.
I think he's talking about me, Manny.
Oh.
Was the tie unnecessary?
I'm okay, I promise.
I mean, technically we have 2 demons, because if you put me and Arden together, we make 1 additional person and 1 additional demon.
This is information that he doesn't need to know. By
Okay,
the way.
but like Adric's, if it helps, Adric's cool with me.
See them quietly look up towards Theo. Without really responding to that, they look down towards you, Emmanuel. Or I guess up towards you, Emmanuel. Is that right?
Uh-huh. And he's a big old stick in the mud, so you know that they're cool.
Adric's alright then?
Adric,
Yeah.
I'm calling Adric stick in the mud.
No,
Oh, okay,
Adric's doing okay. He got a little bit hurt. But he's on the mend, as they say.
That's good to hear. Sounds like the others are better off than we are.
Is Colin okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
I turn back to normal.
We've been sent out to find you.
Unfortunately, there's only 3 of us left.
I'm so sorry.
Nothing to be done.
Can I insight the 3 of us left thing?
Sure. And I'm gonna roll what might be a random die and might be a fucking deception check. Who knows?
Persuasion
gonna
or
matter.
deception? Could roll really low persuasion and be like, this guy seems sus.
Yeah, right?
You, it's hard to read this guy. Face is mostly covered. The snow's loud. Doesn't talk with really that much of a varied intonation in his voice. It's hard to get a feed on if he's being honest.
Here's your arrow.
That's okay. I'm sorry about your tire. And your hood.
We've
Adamantine
lost
Shield.
enough cars. It's fine, I suppose. But
Okay, we had the revolution about the hotels, apartments, apartment hotels.
we should probably not be speaking out in the open like this. Should
Indeed.
we make our way somewhere else?
Man, are you sure these people are all cool?
Uh-huh. None of them have been mean to me. Well, that one keeps talking about cutting off my hand, but so does Adric, so I don't know, mileage may vary.
Okay. I initially thought that you might be Order of the Sword members when you approached. I figured since I haven't been letting them get near us by that helicopter of theirs that perhaps they stole an SUV. Sorry again.
Okay.
If you want to see the others, come with me. We're not in a great state, but it'll be good to hear what's happened elsewhere.
I could patch them up if they're not feeling so good.
They turn and they start walking back into the snow.
We should follow him.
Yeah, vamos, let's go.
Alright.
So you know what that means.
I feel now.
You told him!
Arden.
We follow.
I figured you'd be okay. You were in Carpenter City when this all went down, right?
Uh-huh. Got thrown into a big old sewer.
Yeah. I'm glad that you were okay. You were lucky enough that everybody in Carpenter City and Napalm were slightly elevated. Unfortunately, New St. Cheshire's pretty close to the water, and the tectonic shifts happen. A lot of freezing water came up onto land, and most of us who were out searching got taken by it. It's possible they could have survived, but I don't imagine anyone who got swept under the ice is doing okay.
There's also a big monster down there.
Yes. We've seen that from a distance as well. Do you know anything about it?
Uh-uh.
Only that it tore off the roof of the stadium that we were staying at with the other knights.
How are the other knights?
Most of them are doing okay.
Yeah, a lot of them got taken out when Lilith attacked. But they're good. They're the ones that are still around. They got a couple civvies safe-ish. as can be, given the snowcumstances.
Are you saying you managed to deal with the blizzard in some way?
Yeah, you need the big. I can't see it. There's towers, and if you push a big old, if he pushes a big old button over there.
Sorry, bumped into you.
Tripped.
Watch your feet, Manny.
Then it gets
Like I said, a
warmer.
lot of water washed up here. It froze pretty instantly. There's a lot of ice. Be careful.
I'll try and watch where I step.
We had really good traction with that SUV.
Yeah, we met a guy named Briar. He helped us, and yeah, if we go into the things, Gino can beep a doop boop, and then it's less cold.
All right. Spire, huh?
Yep.
We know where it is, but there's a problem. It popped up on Kenzo Peninsula. He references over roughly to the west, which is out there. Which is there is a way to get to it. It is a peninsula. There's a land bridge leading there. Initially, when we saw that thing come up, we thought we'd go investigate. Those of us who were left, unfortunately, didn't do so well. The Order of the Sword is here, and when they showed up, they decided to take the perimeter of that thing as their base. With only the 3 of us left, and trying to deal with Lucifer, we haven't really been able to do much good in terms of getting to it.
I mean, we could probably get in there. That one guy who looked like a Scooby-Doo villain was really excited to talk to you, Nicolo.
He kind of looks away at that.
Yeah, he shouted at us from a helicopter.
They didn't... They talked to you? Why?
I mean, they did, and then they left, and then there was a dinosaur.
There's circumstances that brought that about.
What circumstances?
I think they give him anxieties.
I don't know all of the information myself, but I used to count myself among them many years ago.
Emmanuel, you're traveling with 3 demons and a member of the Order of the Sword.
Former.
I know, right? I brought up some concerns with Adric.
I'm surprised he let them go, given how he normally is.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, he didn't know that part.
Oh, you lied to Adric.
I didn't say anything to Adric. There's a difference. I didn't think there was going to be any problems.
Well, you won't catch any grief from me. If you shut down 2 of those spires and tried to correct this whole situation, then I'm not really in a position to judge you. Probably good of you not to tell him. Adric can be, deliberate.
Oh.
I can assure you that it's not going to... I have no loyalty to them.
It's true.
That's good.
They were gonna try and, like, eat Mummy Lair or something, and so he ran away, and they got a plane to here. I don't actually know the whole story.
That's basically it.
They ran away together because Nicolo's the best.
You guys, at this point, pass through the gate, what looks like, what may have been a factory. You pass by the chain link fence that surrounds the outer perimeter of it, most of which seems to have broken, but a lot of it looks like it froze and just snapped into pieces. As you go forward, you see the remains of construction equipment surrounding the lot in front of it. As you move up, it strikes you as it may have been a car manufacturer. That's your best guess. Moving up towards it, the doors appear to be heavy metal. Vamos raises up his hand. He bangs his hand on the front door in a very particular sequence, and then he stops. It'll probably be a minute. Without electricity, this place doesn't work super well.
I could just go inside. I could just go through the wall.
So what are you trying to accomplish here? Is your goal going to be to get to the spire?
Yeah, we're gonna chain them all to the human world, because it's like I've been paying attention. Okay, so they're all like anchors. That's what they call them. Yeah, and we're gonna chain them to the human world so we can not be in the not the human world, and so then the people who aren't us can leave.
Chain it to human world, no more snow.
Oh, this is important. I remembered. No, wait. Sparta's here.
What?
Maybe.
He
Apparently.
might be alive.
Might be alive.
There's quite a lot of information.
I remembered.
Good job.
once we're with Colleen, we could probably share the whole thing.
You guys are like Colleen so much.
I'm so excited to meet her. If she's someone that Adric gets along with and really likes, then I really want to meet her.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the sound of metal grinding against metal as the door slowly pulls open. You hear gears resisting themselves as they are forced to work without any kind of mechanical compulsion causing them to do so. The door opens. You see a myriad of candles inside, as the place appears to be lit mostly by small flames and such. As you open it, you see another member of the Knights of Ulyssia inside. They are somewhat androgynous in appearance. As you look towards them, they have a very prince-like appearance, slightly leaning towards more feminine. Their hair is more elegant. They carry a rapier at their side. As you look towards them, you see their uniform appears to have several tassels and small elements that have been added to it. Relatively thin in stature. You would recognize this to be Marquette, another person that you spent a lot of time with. You would know them to be a relatively regal, not uptight, but by the book sort of person. Usually has a defined elegance to them. You probably would have spoken more to them in the past than you would have to Vamos, Manuel. When you see them at the front, they appear to be pulling on a makeshift contraption with several chains tied to it that they've used to open the area. As the door is fully open, they let go of it after pressing a part of it down to make sure that the lever that they're pulling back doesn't switch back into its previous position. They walk over towards the lot of you. Survivors. Good.
And lo, your problems were solved. For Emmanuel is here.
That would be good.
Market.
I'm not certain that you are equipped to deal with the problems that we have, but we're better off for you being here.
Oh, we're here to blast them.
Yeah?
Oh, that's really the best thing that we're good at.
Vamos, there is a demon with them.
Actually, there's 3. And an Order of the Sword member.
Hello.
Armor.
You see them, like, raise their chin up slightly and cross their arms in a, like, oh, is that so? Kind of way. Just like,
X.
I presume
He
since
doesn't-
you've allowed them to get this far that there must be some reason that you're going to let them in?
Yeah, Adric says they're cool.
Adric likes me.
It's true, he had a question them briefly.
What?
It wasn't on me, it was on Morley, because you see what happened is
yeah.
he was under the control of Lilith, so I had this love potion that I was like saving, but nothing in particular, but I like opened it and I like shoved it in his mouth, and because of the love potion interacting with like Lilith's powers and stuff, it made him like a little bit more clear-headed, but like kind of into Morley, but not really. I'm pretty sure it's into somebody else. But anyways, so that's what happened. He didn't have a crush on anyone else, actually. It was just because of the love potion that, like, saved his life, and then he, like, didn't die and stuff.
You said you wanted to keep the cold air out.
They walk over to you, Marquette. They go down onto one knee and they put their hand out to you whenever you introduce yourself.
I am Marquette, member of the Knights of Ulyssia. Very nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you, too.
She'll take their hand and just like shake it vigorously.
Fionnuala Ione, but my friends call me Fio, so I'd say you can, too.
I'm not very used to consorting with demons, but given the situation, I'm not going to be a stickler for the rules.
I mean, if Adric says I can stay, then I think I could probably stay.
Frankly, it's a miracle that you convinced him to tolerate you being around. He's much more of a hard ass than we usually are.
A lot
Can't
of
exactly be choosy right now.
yes, a lot of circumstances go out the window whenever the entire city freezes.
Indeed. I assume that Vamos has already told you what happened to the rest of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It sucks.
It does. All we can hope is that we can resolve the situation, and that Takumi Roland is not met the same fate as everybody else here. At this point, they're the only lead we have to find out what's going on.
Takumi Roland?
Yeah, they're the one who made the exhibit that we were supposed to be going to when we did our little heckin' song and dance with you guys before we got chucked into the sewer.
We still presume that that exhibit and the demonic activity that came with it must somehow be related to everything that's happened here.
Oh, we don't gotta go back, do we? Because that's really far away. That's the farthest away.
That depends on what you found while you were there.
Well, I shot some glass. I found, no, this isn't the same one, but I found one of these. I pull out one of my devil stars, and there was a bunch of weapons that I wasn't allowed to touch because no one here has fun. And then the sewer part happened. It happened really quick. We didn't go upstairs, so I don't know if there's anything else up there.
The sewer part?
Oh, yeah, we met,
You may have skipped a few things, Emmanuel.
we met a man who made the explosions. He murdered him, and I point over at Arden, and then and when he made everything from the he gesticulates at the whole city. Then we fell into a hole into the sewer.
The man that you're talking about is the one who caused all of this, you're saying?
I think he's very dead.
There's no look of discontentment on their face, but as they watch you trying to explain this, they look up to the rest of you.
Perhaps whenever you meet with Colleen, you could all offer your perspective on what's happened so we have a more complete account.
There is quite a lot of information, yes.
Well, you should come in so we can get this closed. We don't want to lose too much heat.
Alright.
Marile's really hot. She'll keep it warm.
It's true.
Indeed she is.
Want my card?
You need help with the door?
Door.
As you guys get in,
Yep.
they kick a part of the mechanism and releases the lever, and it seems like tension on the mechanisms causes it to slowly screech back to a close. As it does, you guys are left bathed only in the candlelight of the many, many, many dozens of candles that have been set up in here, as well as several what look to be impromptu flashlights and torches and whatnot that have been laid about the area. You guys are led into this, what you at this point have taken to be a car manufacturer, this building. As you guys continue to walk through, you are led into what amounts to what looks to be a large central room. It looks like, again, this building from the outside is about 2 stories tall. Whenever you come into it, this one, there's machinery meant for the manufacturing of parts. There's nothing that looks like the main body of a car in here, but there's conveyor belts and such that seem to be where many pieces would be made. You do see some tires lying around in piles. You wouldn't know if they're the sort that match the one you had, but there are various sizes, so you do get the impression if you were willing to change all the tires, you could at least get a new set of tires. You don't know if you could find one that'll exact match the one that you lost. Going in, you see that elevated there appear to be some offices that have scaffolding and stairways going up towards them. As you come in, Vamos steps into the what is effectively like an observation area that you guys are in, with steps that would lead down into the actual manufacturing area. He just yells out, "Colleen! Some of us came back! One of them's Emmanuel!"
Hi.
You see movement from one of the offices that has windows that look out over the manufacturing section, and you see the shadow of a figure moving among the lights that are up there. They don't move in a rush, but they do seem to move start up rather urgently as they come down.
She likes high places like Adrica.
What?
He was also at the very top of the place we were at.
Bureaucrats.
It's an office. You guys see a figure begin walking down the twisting scaffolding and steps that leads down from that office. Though the place is badly illuminated, you can tell they're wearing effectively the same uniform that Adric was. You can see the same fluttering cloak that the 10 Petal Knights wear, similar to Adric's, except this one has much more of a collar on it, coming up to cover the lower half of this individual's face. As the light from the various torches and lights in the area catches them briefly, you notice that they seem to be carrying 2 rapiers on one of their side, and a revolver on the other, both of which are affixed to buckles on either side of their waist. The rapiers they're carrying, you notice, seem to have lifelike flowers. These bluish flowers with these pink insides that are at the tip of the hilt that don't seem to be ornamental. They seem to be like actual flowers attached to them. There's a pink ribbon tied around under their ribs. Same sort of regal design. The main thing that you notice is they have generously flowing pink hair when they come down. That is very well maintained, given the extreme situation they find themselves in. Those of you who know them, that mostly being Emmanuel, you would know that this just comes naturally to them. You know this person is a very much wakes up beautiful sort of individual. As they step down, this is the individual that you see.
Ooh.
I've seen her before.
It's true.
Told ya.
I mean, I imagined her really pretty, and she's more beautiful than I ever could have imagined.
As she comes down, as she gets to the last section of the steps, she looks over. You see her eyes fall on Emmanuel, and her face lights up. She seems to become more excited immediately, steps down much more rapidly, almost swings down, grabbing onto one of the bits of the scaffolding and using it to pivot and swing as she rushes over relatively quickly across the manufacturing area towards you.
Emmanuel!
Hello.
I was so worried that something had happened to you. I was so beside myself with grief at the thought that something had happened to you while you were out of my watch.
They go over to you, they kneel down, they put their hands on the side of your face and start adjusting your head as if looking for signs of injury.
Are you alright?
Yeah, mostly.
We, grabs Emmanuel, have been doing a great job taking care of him.
Oh no.
We fell down a sewer. I got attacked by a robot tiger. I blew it up. We fought Lilith. We beat him up. And I learned about hummus.
You learned about hummus?
He's been having so much fun. It's like an educational field trip.
I'm very happy that you've been alright.
She stands, puts her arms around Emmanuel, and pulls him relatively close to her, very softly, but looks to all of you. Seems to take a second, having not really noticed a lot of you in her panic to get to Emmanuel, looks to all of you.
Do you know, I presume then that if you're here, I presume you must have checked in with Adric on the way here, correct?
Sure did. They're doing alright, mostly. They had to evacuate.
There's a sigh of relief from them.
Nah, he's doing just fine.
They look to you, Marile, and you see when they look at you, though their reactions have been more emotional, you see that there's a quizzical look as they look to you. Their emotions don't betray how they've been much, but you see that there is a moment of deeper inspection whenever they look to you.
You say that you've been looking after him.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. It means a lot that you would. Having a child with us is normally stressful, but having a child with us in these situations has been especially stressful.
My dear.
Oh, Manny has been nothing short of an absolute blessing.
Nightmare.
Is this true? Have you behaved yourself, Manny?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I got to go to like this old fire hall, and there was an old lady with a gun. She was great.
What?
Yeah.
Everyone needs to arm themselves as what's happening right now.
Yeah, then we got pizza. We got attacked by Freddy Fazbear and the gang. Then we beat up Lilith. They're dead. And then we killed the guy who did all this. Well, we didn't. He was impaled on a spike, and the first thing I saw when I woke up was him stabbing him. I'm conflicted.
His name was Layden. Yeah.
Layden.
Layden Stratum.
Layden the
There's a
third,
problem.
more like.
I've heard that name
Yeah.
before.
What?
Yeah?
Yes. Did Adric tell you anything about... Did he recognize that name? Presuming you've told him what you told me.
I
I
don't
was
think
kind
we
of
did.
messing around with Odette, and I found a megaphone, so I wasn't really paying attention there.
By the time we were done with everything, unfortunately, Adric, if you were to return to see him, was not in the best of health at the time. He was still going away from the effects of being controlled by the demon Lilith.
He allowed himself to be... to have his mind influenced by a demon, did he?
Not
Yeah.
consensual.
Yeah.
Whenever we had left there, he had specifically left us on a mission to come and find you.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
He sits
He
back
says
there
hello.
injured and he sends other people to check on my well-being.
They did save a bunch of people, though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you did.
He was like all under an influence and like being real mean and stuff, and then I fed him a love potion, and then he was like kind of okay, and yeah. So he and
The
I,
demon-
as far as I'm concerned, are now buddies.
The demon was a powerful succubus. The love potion was able to help him counteract some of the effects.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And he's on Morley, but only under the potion, you know.
Oh, he's just
Any
playing
other
hard to
time-
get.
Any other time, I don't think he'd look at anybody else.
Wow.
Oh, he's just playing hard to get. He looked at my card for at least 2 seconds more than the last time I showed it to him.
Ooh.
He's breaking through.
Progress.
Give it time. Maybe the next time he'll look at it for 3 more seconds.
It's probably an avenue of thought that you should abandon. He's not easily approached. Not in that regard, he is all business.
Oh yeah?
So am I.
Ooh.
There is the faintest cold look from them towards Marile.
She's hugging Medish with like a smile, like he's all business. So am I. You could say I'm in the business.
As that you have made it this far in, with Vamos and Marquette allowing you in, I presume the fact that one of you is a demon and 2 of you give off the vibe. This has already been sorted, and I assume that you are not dangerous.
Adric likes me, so
Dangerous to the bad guys.
yeah.
Sorry,
What's
I
super
fell
dangerous
unconscious for
to
a second
them?
there.
A hard ass like
Dangerous
No, it's
him
okay.
warmed up to you, then I trust you implicitly.
Also, you're way more pretty than I ever could have imagined. Like, if Adric was about you, I was like, she's gotta be really beautiful, right? But you are, wow.
Did he say something about me?
Just talked about you a lot, and I'm just putting puzzle pieces together, man. I don't
Did he
know.
know?
He seemed really worried about you out here, I'm just saying.
Well, what is his situation? If he saved people, how many? Are they doing better than we are? I'm sure you've been told already, but you're currently talking to what remains of my score.
Because of what happened with all of us, we have been going through these different spires in the city and trying to get this storm under control. The last time we did, whenever we defeated that demon Lilith, we had actually met with a being that was able to calm down the storm a bit and warm the place up. They're doing a lot better than they were, though they were attacked shortly before all of this, and a lot of people were injured, and some lost.
Yeah, Godzilla Lilith ripped up the football stadium or baseball or I don't know the sports ball place, and it was pretty messed up. A couple people, mostly knights, I think, got dead. And then they evacuated everyone else somewhere nearby. He said, and then since it was warming up, they were doing better.
That's good.
We had heard that there is the one that's here is somewhere you can tell us, near the peninsula.
Yes. Do you have anything in particular you're calling them? It seems you know more about them than we do.
We're calling them
Talons.
anchors for the moment, alright? Like
Hmm.
looks over to the others.
Anchor.
Anchor, Talon, or whatever.
For simplicity, we'll call them that as well. We had initially tried to approach them and investigate it, but we couldn't find anything. The outside was entirely sealed. And then, as we continued to investigate it, you may have already been told, the Order of the Sword showed up, and they did not take kindly to us being here.
If you don't mind me asking, since you've been here a lot closer to them than the others, do you know about how many people are here? Whenever Adric had told us before, he seemed to think that the 2 groups of you came in near equal number in the beginning of all this. Have they sustained heavy losses as you have?
From what I can tell, they came better prepared than we do. They seem to risk having reinforcements come in from outside. The helicopters they have appear to be equipped for precisely the situation we're dealing with. They have at least 100 soldiers to our 3.
Goodness.
And among their numbers include Credo, their general, who I would be confident in my ability to face, except that the additional numbers and those helicopters that they have, one in particular, tilt the odds in their favor, so we haven't tried to push much of an offensive.
You must be extremely strong.
Is Credo? Yes.
Oh, I was meaning you, if you feel that you can have confidence in going against him.
I'm sorry, I have not properly introduced myself. I am Colleen Rioche. I am one of the 10 Petal Knights who lead the Knight of Ulyssia, and before this happened, I would have happily introduced the many soldiers who served underneath me, but unfortunately it has been reduced to us. I am confident in my strength, and my conviction to solve this problem. If there is anything that you need, you can rely on me, undoubtedly. Any friend of Emmanuel's is a friend of mine, no matter how suspicious some of them may be.
Any help getting to that anchor might be good.
With a lot of us here, it is possible we could wage an offensive. So you have a means to activate these, then?
Yeah, Gino.
Yeah.
No,
Just
no,
raises
no.
his hand.
Might you
Yeah,
explain
he lets
how?
me in. This was this suit was made by Machiavelli, and so it just thinks it lets me in basically anywhere
Yeah.
in these things.
The machines there think he's Mr. Maserati.
There is another individual who has managed to get inside.
Tito?
Lucifer.
Oh.
How'd he get in?
The other problem we're dealing with. Not sure. But we have seen him on occasion. Whenever we were there, we saw that he was frequently making his way up to the top of it, and sections did open and allow him in.
Do you think he, like, has something of, like, spotters or something?
Perhaps. I'm not sure. Anytime we've encountered him, it's not as if we've spoken. We've exchanged words, but they have been mostly banter and pleasantries, before a hail of blades with flower petals on the end of them would assail us. Ironically, Lucifer is, similar to us aesthetically, but not morally. If you went in there, you'd likely have to deal with him.
Well, that was part of the plan the whole time, I think.
Yeah. We know what we're in for. We just want to help people.
At this point, Vamos turns, starts walking away. As long as we're here, I'm gonna go keep watch outside.
Certainly. Is there anything that you need while you're here? Are you all hungry?
Do you like food?
We managed to scrounge some up from the surrounding areas.
I
You
mean,
have any magazines?
One's about the automotive industry.
I'll take a look at them, but I'm not too
An
hopeful.
all-new rearward-facing camera and a 5-star safety rating.
Ooh. Never mind, I'm actually into this.
I knew
I think I
we
might
were
become a
friends.
car guy.
Nicola, I'm becoming a car guy.
I'm proud of you.
beep beep. But yeah, no,
Nah.
if you have food, I think that might be nice.
Pizza time.
We can tell you the rest of what we know over some sort of food, yes.
That would be appreciated. Come up to the office then.
She turns and beckons you to come with her. You guys are taken up. It's a relatively small, uninteresting office. There's an L desk in the corner, several chairs. There's a computer that is very busted. You see notes, a lot like with Adric's, the place where Adric had set himself up. You see a tourism map of the town has been put out and marked on extensively on the desk that's in here. She offers the few seats that are in here to you all. Seems to remain standing herself.
Vamos said that you guys weren't feeling good. Do you need, like, your first aid? I got magic. I'm a witch.
We're not doing well in terms of our numbers and the people we've lost. Physically, we are fine.
Okay. You're making sure.
Moralized, we're trying to remain optimistic. We figure the Order of the Sword likely cannot do anything with the, as you call it, an anchor, any more than we can. Although we are somewhat distressed by the fact that Lucifer seemed to take offense to us investigating it and attacked us whenever we tried, whereas they don't seem to mind the Order of the Sword outside. I'm not
Yes, I
entirely
was going to
certain.
ask you about that. Whenever you said that he was going in, I was wondering how he got past them.
He was already making his way in there whenever we were investigating. Whenever all of this happened, when what went down did. We lost some of our people, and then shortly afterwards we decided to investigate the anchor that had come out. We had slightly more of us then when we did. Our first encounter was we were engaged by Lucifer, who had already slipped in and had exited at some point to come after us. We lost some of our numbers then, we were pushed back, we tried to investigate the area from a distance, and then shortly afterwards the Order of the Sword showed up and engaged us, taking out the remainder of us that you have not met. We were forced to come here, to hide from them and regroup, and we have been trying to maintain our security and trying to contact the outside. We had no idea there were other ones of those structures, so our initial plan had been to try to contact the outside and try to get them to use the Knight's satellite to destroy the anchor, if we could manage to, but sounds like that's no longer an option. The Artemis array is not going to do what we need it to do.
Also,
We've
don't know if we
learned
can reach
that-
here.
We've learned that there are 4 of them in total. We've went through 2 and have established them to this place. The reason that the storm is here is because they are between different worlds, 3 different realms. If we anchor them, which is why we're calling them that, to the human world, we can get rid of all of the ice and storm around. At least that's what we hope.
At that point, we'd be able to contact more people, the other knights could send more assistance to us, and we would be in much better shape, and should we have to destroy anything in the area, we could then use the Artemis array to do so. It wouldn't take long to get it overhead.
Would we have enough time to evacuate as many as we could?
Depends on where we were firing. To me, it seems like this city does not have many people left in it to save.
We've met with, again, other than Adric's people that he has saved, there is also the matter of some personal friends of mine and Marile's who have holed themselves up as well near the first spire that we had gone through.
That's the Angel's Light. It's the fireplace.
Oh.
Yeah, they got poles and stuff that you can slide down.
It would
As long
depend.
as long as we have enough time to get them to evacuate, I think that is what we need to be doing.
The array is strong enough that if it's fired anywhere into the bay... I know most of you are not familiar with what I'm speaking of, so allow me to elucidate you. I presume you are aware of the purpose of the Knights. We try to maintain security for humanity against any demonic forces that may slip over from the demon world into ours. We also try to capture and study demonic artifacts and devil arms. Normally we work out of a location called the Sapphire Garden, which is back in England, but if we were closer to it, we may be able to call for help more easily, but we are quite a ways away. We have at our disposal a satellite that was made by, as you're now familiar with the demon, Machiavelli a long time ago, that was left in the human world. We're not sure why, but we discovered and took control of it, and it's capable of performing an orbital strike that is able to, depending on what we're aiming it at, destroy a fairly large area. It could probably, for example, eradicate all life within one of the cities here. We would use it in a situation like this. But if destroying one anchor is not going to fix the problem, then we have no need to. It would be a waste.
It might not work on the anchors, but what about on Veilfar?
We have heard Lucifer mention them, and we know of them. Are they here? Did they come through as well?
Oh, yeah.
He did.
They've been a constant thorn on our side.
That would be a very worthwhile target.
Yeah, he's the ruler of the Frost Hills.
If they've come through to our world, then they would be an absolutely appropriate target. But the problem is, we are unable to contact the Sapphire Garden, and even if we could, it would be impossible to aim the satellite through all of this. We only get one shot with it as well. Once it fires, it would take at least 2 days for it to be able to do so again. So our priority then is clearing this blizzard.
When we came into this part of the city, we had been forcefully established contact with the Order of the Sword. They seem to be relatively alright with our presence because of my previous employment to them, though that is not something that is in any way continued into the present. They seem to think it is, but I believe that if we do not wish to storm them and go after them with a the assault you mentioned before, we could potentially use that connection to get closer to the spire.
How do you propose?
Like a spies.
So you're proposing that we turn you over to them so that you might investigate?
I do not know if myself would be the main goal for them, though they did seem oddly interested in me for some reason. They were more interested in Gino here.
What was that dude's name? Like fucking Angus or something?
Agnes.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, he was real.
Guy.
He was real
He's
curious.
someone who I remember vaguely, but I was not under him whenever I was in the order. Though he seemed to know a lot, quite a lot about me.
It was encyclopedic.
What if we showed up and we're like, hey, the dude that you like approved of, he's here and he wants to meet up and talk. And also the suit of armor's here and have fun. What about that?
What would our ultimate goal be?
To get inside?
To get Gino to the anchor.
It's a shame we can't close the door once we're inside.
Maybe we can. I don't know.
Would it be safe to get only the two of you there?
I mean, we could bring the others along as well and just say, hey, we're there with us, right? Looks to Nicola.
Most likely. I believe that they would be very much suspicious if it was only the two of us.
Niccolo, you said I shouldn't let them see me. 'Cause
They
I'm me.
They saw you before, whenever they had stopped us. But if what we think about you is true, we need to keep some things under wrap, especially.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say nothing.
What we worry about, he just looks over toward her again. We had came here to find you and potentially, I do not know if he just wanted us to bring you back to him or what, but I doubt that if you're this deep in all of this, you are going to want to turn tail at this point.
If our goal must be that we have to take down these anchors, then I don't see any sense in fleeing. Our enemies will only consolidate themselves further.
My thought is if you had the ability to, with the three of you, potentially causing some sort of ruckus whenever we arrive, having less people there looking at me and Gino would more likely allow us to get to the anchor a lot easier.
So what you're proposing is we arrange some kind of meeting, turn you over to them. Once you're inside and in a good position, we cause a distraction outside to cause them to lose focus long enough for the lot of you to get inside and try to lock them out.
Shut behind us, yes.
That leaves the three of you with a lot of work to do with these 100 guys they got.
It sounds like we need to only distract them. We don't need to actually defeat them.
I had fought a couple of you earlier. Unfortunately, they were taken over by Lilith, but they were extremely tricky as well as they had quite powerful magics. I believe that if you wanted to make a ruckus, you definitely could. And with how quick they moved, I'm sure you could get away as well.
Much more than Adric, I am versed in the arcane arts. I have studied a great many divine spells as a means to replicate the arts that our progenitor Ulyssia once used. I would be more than equipped to cause a distraction, as would those that are with me if we had to. I implore you not to worry about us. If such a plan happens, and if we must put ourselves in danger, it is our duty.
Colleen, look. Kitty.
Like, oh, goodness.
I assume you're showing them. Hagen,
Yeah, I conjured little Bastet.
Look at you. Have you learned to control this better then?
They're my best friend.
My goodness, you're coming along so well. I'm so proud of you.
Can ride them.
By manipulating demonic energy and divine rights, mankind can produce magic that can help us to fight back against devils. But it is difficult for us. I'm glad that at such a young age you're coming so far.
I just got Briar. I got him to fix. Apparently the ring was damaged.
Who is this Briar?
Someone who apparently was under Machiavelli.
Yeah.
One who was sort of a inventor, mechanic, someone who can help forge and enhance these devil arms, such as the one that Manny holds.
When you're out looking for food, do you ever see like a gas station's lights turn on and then you see a guy stealing all our popsicles?
I have. That man has been of use to you.
Yeah,
That's insane.
surprisingly.
He's like one of our best friends. I like
Gino?
to think so.
Sure.
Gino and Emmanuel. I presume that among everything that's happened, you haven't forgot the 4 commands we live by.
Yeah, I've been conflicted about those because people thought like the Layden guy, he wasn't doing anything. Well, I mean, not anymore.
He was
The
doing
one-
stuff, wasn't
the
he?
one
He
who-
was impaled on a pipe.
Was this individual human?
Yeah, I think.
He really wished he wasn't.
Have
Yeah.
you, at any point, spoken to your compatriots as to what your duties are?
Nuh-uh.
The Knights of Ulyssia live by 4 principles. The first is that we remain an ally to mankind. Above all else, we preserve the life of humanity in the face of any threat. If this individual was human, you should have likely tried to assist them if violence could have been avoided. But the second principle, we are prepared to sacrifice the few to save the many. Do not become caught up in small details. Our battle is against all of demonkind. When we must choose between a single life and many, the answer comes to us in simple terms. If that person had to be sacrificed for the good of more people, then that simply is what it is.
So the trolley problem.
He had no love for humanity. That man was going to kill a lot of people.
I forgot number 2.
The third, reinforce our boundaries. The boundary between our world and the demon world is always thinning. We push back demons who breach our territory, generally without exception.
She looks towards Theo, and to Arden, and then to Marile, who her eyes stay on.
But sometimes there are exceptions, even if we say that there should not be.
And she does shoots her eyes glance down towards the ring that's on Emmanuel's finger, and then up to Gino.
And the fourth and final command, and the reason why I wanted to remind you of this. Your life is worth less than that of an innocent. You walk a path stained with blood, and you have been forced to make decisions no innocent ever would. If your life must be sacrificed for another, that answer should come to you in simple terms. So, if we must put our lives on the line to allow you all to enter into the anchor to protect the boundary between the demon world and ours, that is our duty, as it is yours to infiltrate it and to stop things from that side. So don't worry about us. This is something we signed up for.
Well, alright then.
In these chaotic times, the principles we live by are all we have. Never forget them. Of course, I don't expect the 4 of you to follow our tenets.
Good.
You two, on the other hand, do what must be done.
Yes, ma'am.
However, the issue now is how are we going to turn you over to them?
I
You can
mean,
use me. I mean,
Like
They
I
want
mentioned,
demons.
they're looking for Gino. The
we
less
just
they know
walk
about
up to
you,
the front gate.
the less they know about you, Fiona, the better.
Oh.
I noticed on the way here, their helicopter. It stays quite a surveyable distance away at any time. It keeps within 500 feet of the ground and makes their way through the fog as if they almost have no care in the world. I believe if they were to have seen us or done anything to want us to rush there, they would have stopped us or expedited it. I believe that with the invitation they already gave us, we can make our way there whenever we need.
That could be your distraction. They could steal the helicopter.
That's true. Or at least
That
go
helicopter
after
is
it.
almost always off the ground.
That's true enough, I guess.
That
Maybe
man
steal
Close
one
enough
on the
to
way
it,
out,
though.
though.
If you were
points
to...
out the window to like Valnos, like that man shot my windshield when I was going 90 miles an hour in a snowstorm.
Technically, you were going above the speed limit. You would have gotten a ticket.
You were being
Like-
chased by a demon.
Like most of their weaponry, the Order of the Swords items are not conventional. There are demonic and divine rights built into everything they've made. That helicopter is more than a simple military vehicle.
Darn. What if
However, if they
shoot
seem willing
back?
to talk to you, then what
Might
if we
not be
just put you in front of them?
That's fair.
Exactly.
If you...
As long as you can be ready to make some noise, give us a small amount of time before doing anything like that when we're in there. That way they don't become suspicious of us immediately, and then we figure things out from there.
We have a couple
Get
ways.
Gino as close as we can.
Couple of ways we could go about getting you in. If we were to approach them, we could... I know that Vamos could send a message to them saying that we wanted to meet and discuss the events in the city. Possibly discuss turning you over and use it as a ruse to try to make some kind of false deal. For example, turning all of you over to ensure our safety. I worry that if we simply tried to have you walk in, or had you approach them, they may take it as hostile.
If you have some way of contacting them in that way, I don't see why that couldn't be something we do. Though that would be putting you very close to the line of fire in case they decide that they don't need you.
We could get a message to them that says that we want to meet, and then you could meet with them on your own. We could give you some means to signal us, and if you make it in, you could set it off. If you do, we could purport to wage an offensive on them, and when they're distracted, you could get in. However, it would be up to you to convince them to allow you into their abode.
Yeah, how are we gonna do that if their boy Lucifer's already in?
I do not know.
I mean, you would have to convince them to allow you past the perimeter they've set up.
Oh, I see.
Whenever they stopped us outside, they seemed extremely interested in Gino, but I mentioned to them that Gino was very attached to all of us. Hopefully, with that information shown, they will try to keep us safe as long as we're around him. Not to mention, he seemed very interested that I was alive, and once he knows that Fionnuala, given how she looks, is there, I doubt that they would want to immediately go on any sort of aggressive offensive against her. With that being said, we would probably need to set off whatever this is within a couple of hours, that way they don't start to separate us from each other. We find a way in, we try to use the leverage they already given us to get ourselves there. They told us to make our way there already, and then once we're there, we set off whatever it is you want us to. Though, hopefully they won't, again, immediately just assume that we are with you and turn on us immediately.
And, you know, if you need to sweeten the pot a little more, then you can just tell them that I can access the stuff that they might not be able to, perhaps. Even if they can, it'd be nice to lie to them.
We would leave the negotiations to you, like... If we
I
got
worry
directly
that if we tell
involved,
them
they may
that,
believe it to be an ambush.
I worry that if we tell them that, you know, that they will most likely have us open that without much, well, going for it. But if we need to, that is something we can tell them. I'd say keep it under wraps as much as we can before then.
Right. Gotcha.
They most likely don't see you, Gino, as a person. They talked about you as a suit of armor whenever we were talking, and they most likely think that you have somewhat imprinted yourself either mechanically or magically or something onto us. The less they know about you, the better. If they think that you're just one of those that are out there that tried attacking our SUV earlier, that's good for us.
Okay.
Colleen walks over too, and goes to part of her desk. Though the area is dark, whenever she moves over to, you see there's a little charging station. It looks like it has 5 or 6 slots in it that look like they could fit walkie-talkies. 3 of them are already gone. 3 remain in it. She takes 2 out of them, and she tosses one to you, Emmanuel, and she tosses the other over to you, Gino.
We've been using these for short distance communication. Whenever you go in, if you make it in, as long as we're within range, which we should be as long as we're relatively close to the peninsula border, there's a red button on the side that if you click it, it will, on anyone who's set to receive, simply play a very loud tone. And if you do so, we can take that as the signal that we should try to cause a ruckus. Yes, that. Thank you.
I was just about like, test it out, Manny. See what it sounds like.
Good to know.
We send that to you. You set off some sort of diversion, and as soon as we see them start filing their way away from the base, we make our way to the anchor.
Yes. There's a strong possibility you will encounter violence while you're inside. There may be those that they leave with you. You should not expect that even if there's a distraction, they'll leave you completely unattended.
They would be fools to. That isn't how they work.
Plus, there's like
Especially
100
if
of them.
That isn't how they work, especially if they do see any of us currently as a threat in any way. They will most likely leave someone with us. Credo may leave someone strong with us as well. He usually thinks of these things ahead of time. I doubt that I have in any way. I doubt that I can think of any kind of plan that he hasn't already thought of himself.
We can take him.
Yeah.
Just holds up Manny.
We can take him.
If you manage to
There is
overcome...
no plan that can have account for Emmanuel. That is for true.
That's true. And if you had managed to overcome Adric in the past, then I'm certain you can likely manage to overcome Credo if you need to. I know very little about the inner workings of the Order of the Sword. We only know what we've researched about them and that they are hiding an agenda, that they are far more on the side of demons than they are of mankind. And their worship of Sparta is, though it mirrors our own, revolting in nature. They believed him to be a feudal lord of the city that they lived in, and they thought him to be effectively a god that was meant to rule over mankind and protect it, as opposed to a savior who sided with it for the purposes of its freedom. We don't know what they're capable of in full. I'm not even sure you would, despite having been with them once.
If they have some sort of ulterior agenda, I was not nearly high enough for them to say anything of such to me.
I will contact Vamos, and we will discuss how he will get the message to them, that we wish to turn you over, and the situation under which we would like to. What I suggest is that whenever you do negotiate with them, act as if you wish to abandon our faltering numbers. They will likely meet under the presumption that we look to negotiate, but if you meet alone, and you state that our piddly force of 3 individuals is not breeding confidence, and if you wish to go to a side that is more compliant with demon kind, it is likely they will take you in as defectors, and your own convictions aside, nobody would blame you for turning against us right now. That might be your way in, but I leave the exact details to you.
She turns.
I'll go talk to Vamos and set it up. In the meantime, you all prepare yourselves.
Wait, I have one more thing.
What's that?
Did you know that Dante has a brother?
Yes. Someone has told you about Virgil.
Uh-huh.
Are you going to start dressing like him now?
I like this outfit.
I do too. You look very good.
You also don't know what he looks like, so.
Yeah, too. But mostly the first thing. Mostly the first thing.
Well, they are twins.
A lot more blue, and from what I've been told, he likes to spike his hair up.
I don't know if I could spike my hair up.
I feel like you could.
Have you tried it? You should.
You'd be surprised what hair gel can do.
Also, Manny, if Virgil wears blue, then
She'll like spin around with like her arms out in like her little blue.
then don't we kind of match then? If you're red like Dante, that would me. I'm blue like Virgil.
Oh, we're so cool.
We're all so cool.
Does that mean you have to spike your hair, Theo?
I don't know,
She'll grab her pigtails and just like hold them straight up.
like this.
It's
I
just
think I
that.
like it better the other way.
Me too.
My heart.
Well, I am going to have to expand my clientele, considering I have lost quite a bit in this whole debacle.
Already, that magazine's gonna rip.
What?
Why are you ripping it so hard?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Thanks.
Do you want to tell us about the new 2023 Toyota Corolla?
I do not.
I'm done being a car guy. I don't want to read this anymore.
No. I know you're gonna make fun of me.
I'm not.
The majority of you are.
Well,
I don't give a
How
shit.
warm does the seat get?
Giving up on cards. I'm a Vespa man now.
I'm a Vespa now.
Does it get warmer than me, Arden? Does it?
I'm gonna
Oh,
go
you
over
wanna
here.
find out? You wanna find out how warm Marile gets?
I'm walking away. Walking away now.
Pretty warm.
I know!
I am very warm, aren't I, Manny? Hug,
Yeah.
hug.
Yeah.
Never a
Arden,
cold night with Mommy.
I think that you are going to be the roughest one to explain to them when we go there.
I'm already over here.
Okay, never mind then.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, no, sorry. You were all the way over there. I just thought you... Never mind. I think that you might be the roughest one to explain to them when we do get there. There is a chance that they have seen Layden before, and you coming up with that weapon, we have to have a story for you just in case.
We killed him. Took it.
I found his corpse and I took it off of him.
I'm more meaning, do you want to give any such of a thought to your connection with them just in case? They are a type of people that get information rather well. They need to in order to hunt down demons and other such things.
I'm not sure, honestly.
One of the easiest things to do is the fact that the Knights of Ulyssia have a thing about taking devil arms, for an example. That could be a good reason why you have attempted to defect away from them, or not to defect, even just stay away from them in the first place, that they would try to take that from you.
Yeah, that works.
I would suggest Fiona do the same if they ask. Say that you did not wish to part with Magistrate. Not to mention they are not kind to demon kind. So the Order would at least have that much information. Emmanuel, do you think you can keep a story straight if they talk to you at all?
I am so good at keeping my story straight. You have no idea.
All right.
Nobody let him talk.
If they ask you why you are defecting from the Knights, what are you going to say?
Well, obviously, I have garbage movie selection.
Honestly, that might work.
That's one thing.
Or
Yeah.
you could just put cuffs on me or something and be like, you know what, come. We bring this thing. And I'll be like, hello?
I am not cuffing you.
Okay. Coward.
Where would we even find those?
I don't think we have cuffs.
There's probably some around here somewhere. They have walkie-talkies. You
Well,
have
we're not doing that
walkie-talkies, you
anyway,
always
so
have
we're not.
handcuffs.
Oh, raise his hand. What is my story, Nicolo?
Unfortunately, Marile, they probably already know a little bit about you. If they put two and two together with myself, then they're going to already understand why you're with me.
Are you eloping?
No. I'm
Oh,
meaning
yeah.
that they will most likely already have an inkling as to that is why I've been gone for as long as I have. Which means the one thing that we need to do, Marile, is give some sort of a reason as to why we are together without the fact that I completely abandoned all of them. Maybe we had to leave for some reason. I don't.
You
I'm
fell
not
to
good
my
at this part.
wiles and you've been under my control this whole time.
You were contacted
They might
about
kill
your
you
car's
at that
extended
point,
warranty.
Marile.
She
They
just
might-
like she's still holding Manny like a stuffed animal. She just like goes up to Nicolo and just rubs. And she's just like,
You were enraptured by my beauty.
It's probably Manny, and Manny's holding his cat.
Marile, they already wanted me to kill you back then. They're definitely going to have me kill you then.
At some point you chose to consent. Y now estamos enamorados. That's an easy lie,
know.
right?
Let's
That's
go.
what we've been
I
telling
think I
people
read
that anyway, right?
Let's
I
go
think I
with
re-
that, and
I think
let's
I
go
read a
with that
book with
until
that
we.
similar premise.
Let's go with that unless we come up with something better. How about?
Vamos,
Fine.
dados,
We are-
enamorados.
It was a fleeting turn of
Braxton.
heart, and I.
there's a little bit of deflation as he's talking.
Yes.
He's like trying
course.
not to like look. He's like, it's a fleeting thing of the chance
Yes,
of
of-
heart, and
Of course. No, change of heart, regret.
Let's
I'm not
go,
telling them
Manny.
the truth.
You're right. We should not tell them the truth.
Oh.
It's fine. Totally fine. I'm just pulling your leg, Nicolo. Don't worry about it.
I just silently shake my head.
We can tell them the truth. There's nothing between us. There never was.
Then why are you?
You should know by now, Nicola. We've been living together for quite a long time. It's a game.
Well, fuck.
I don't know if you're. Let's go with your idea. I fell for your demonic charms at first, and eventually, whenever I was able to use my training to get out of it, I stayed because of a sense of actual love or something.
They're going to catch you on a lie if you say it like
You like kissing.
They're going to catch you on the lie if you say it like that.
They cannot.
More convincing.
Yeah.
They
still more
cannot
convincing,
catch.
like,
How would I be more convincing, you two?
How
like,
about-
Let's get advice from the two who were flirting their eyes out in the back of my SUV.
flirting.
Flirting?
No! I only asked him to help me read.
Scandalous.
Arden
Yeah.
was in the front seat.
It's true.
It's true. He's curled up in a ball,
Mhm.
which is not road safe, by the way.
I think it would be
Flirting.
easy
Anyway,
enough
give me a line read.
I think it would be easy enough for you to convince them, Marile, and I can follow your lead. You are extremely convincing when you want to be.
I'm feeling a lot of tension right now.
It's
It's
okay,
just
Manny.
like how
Pat,
it
pat.
happened in my book.
I don't know, like this. I don't have really strong memories of it, but I feel like this is what it felt like when, like, are you guys getting a divorce?
They had to have been married for them to be getting a divorce.
Oh,
It will come when it comes.
The divorce?
Sure.
okay. Just don't like leave though. If I could make a request.
I'm not going to leave, Emmanuel. This has gone in a completely different direction than
I
what
wanna-
I was meaning.
I was talking to Marile. Also, you should hold this. You seem like you need it.
I'm going to go look for tires. He's gonna start walking away.
Here, I might be able to help you. I have a lot more knowledge now.
Okay.
I'm like looking at the magazine that I have, and just like I think this brand over here is probably good. Says we need a certain texture. Look for a certain texture for the tire.
Yes, that's fine. Can you put? I mean, yes, we'll go with those. Yes, that's fine.
We should also maybe try and find some chains, just for like ice going over maybe like some snow, probably.
Yes, that's fine. Let's do that. Yes.
What do you think of these? These ones or these ones?
I'm sure that if they fit the model, then it should be fine. As long as
Come
they
on,
don't.
Nicolo, this matters. We're car guys now. We have to be sure about this.
Arden, I am. Are you all right? What have you been doing the past several hours? What everyone's acting crazier than normal.
I'm not sure what you're referring to exactly.
What's with this all the sudden the reliance on your those magazines? Why are you reading all of a sudden? What are you doing?
Ah, I see. To tell you the truth, I used to read these all the time back in the order.
Yeah.
Whatever I could get my hands on. And there was someone in my group who used to like these pulls out the girly magazine, these type of magazines, and sometimes they just, whenever they were done with them, they're just giving to me something to do, I guess, it gave me some sort of distraction,
So you actually are just distracting yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry, I assume that, I guess we did come out of everything with Lilith, and everyone's just seemed so crazy lately, so more than normal, and sorry, I don't want to get on you for any of your ways you're trying to get through this. Everything's gone to shit.
I drove my weapon through the person who helped turn me into what I am today.
Yeah.
That part of my life is over officially now, and I don't know.
No,
I guess I didn't want to think about it.
No, I understand. It's hard trying to figure out, especially in this situation, trying to figure out what's next. I mean, whenever you have been working towards something all of your life, and then something drastic comes into your life and you have to change everything. I get it. You're going to be. It's going to be fine, Arden. You're strong. You're very strong. Especially with everything I've seen the past couple of hours, the past day or so. You're the type of. Don't take this wrong. You're the type of person I would have been sent to kill.
Thanks.
You're going to get through this, and we're all going to get through this. It just seems like everyone's getting to that point where making jokes are all we can do. I did it earlier, and that thing almost speared us through our SUV, and the best thing that we came up with was I floored it. We fought a dinosaur literally like 4 hours ago.
Yeah. There's a lot on our plates, and
before that,
to be handling it in their own way, I guess.
And before that, with everything going on with Lilith, Marile was acting strange, and you were, of course, acting strange because you got everything happen in Emmanuel, and heat of the moment, I'm sure things are said and things are meant in different ways, but it's just on my mind, I guess, especially with everything going on. I just want to get us through all of this. I never wanted to bring her back to these people.
She was with them before?
No, I was sent to kill her. They learned about her because of the way that she ran her life beforehand, and whenever I was told there was a demon for me to go and kill, I didn't realize it was going to be someone like her. And whenever I was there and saw how out of sorts everything was, just something in my head was just telling me that I could not go through with it. Whatever it was they needed her dead for, whatever it was they wanted me to do, I couldn't do it. And now we're sitting here talking about bringing not only her, but Fionnuala, yourself, Gino, Emmanuel. Everyone's going to these people, and according to the Knights, they have some sort of hidden agenda, and even whenever we were talking to him before, he said that I was something different, and I'm just confused. I'm worried that I'm bringing us into something that is going to get one of us killed. And I'm worried that it's not going to be me.
We've been in plenty of danger before. Hell, it almost feels like a cakewalk. We dealt with one of that Lilith, and now all we have to do is take down an order. I'm very familiar with orders just fucking dying.
Yeah, they just have 100 people. You can take like 60 of them. I'll get a couple. Honestly, do we even have to do anything with Chino around?
What the hell? Why am I taking on the majority of them? You said there were 100 of them.
What? You don't think you can handle it?
I could. Just saying. The point is, we've got your back. Not a lot we can't handle at this point.
Thanks, Arden.
Think of this as you finally ending that chapter of your life.
Am I going to start reading magazines afterward too? After I end this part just like you did? Are we both going to need to find new hobbies?
You can borrow the magazines after I'm done with them, I'll tell you.
Do I have to teach you magic?
Maybe. I was actually thinking about learning some magic if I could.
Oh, not that magic. It's a card game. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it.
Oh, that magic.
Don't worry about it. I didn't say anything. All right, let's just the tires. You're right. Those will be best.
Wait.
Let's wrap them.
You play magic.
Let's wrap them, and then we'll take them, and we need Marile with us so that we can lift up. Gino's going to have to.
I'm not dropping this.
You hear the sound of boots on metal as you see Colleen approaching the two of you, coming from one of the upper areas.
Sorry, am I interrupting anything?
No. We're pretty much done.
Yeah, we're just getting tires.
I wanted to pass on to all of you. I've dispatched Vamos, and he's going to, by way of firing an arrow with a letter attached to it into their encampment, he's going to pass on that you would all like to speak on our behalf with them in the morning tomorrow. There's a building nearby that is 3 stories tall, provides an adequate location for them to land upon it, as they will likely dispatch their helicopter, and it's defendable from their point of view, making it seem safe. I wanted to inform you that you have the remainder of the day to rest, and then tomorrow we're going to have to see this through.
Yes. Thank you.
And
what a way to deliver a message.
it's unconventional, but so is Vamos. In the meantime, I'll leave the two of you to talk about whatever it is you're talking about.
And they smile and walk away from the two of you.
So what kind of decks do you play?
We're not talking about this, Arden. We're taking the tires and we're going and getting the SUV. I don't care to have to go out there without Marile and freeze my ass off. We're dropping this.
Just tell me what kind of color player you like.
And we fade out on that conversation as we slowly pull back and the screen fades, as we do, as the group spends the remainder of the day resting and preparing for what's going on. As much of a unconventional wall it will be, I believe that is where I would like to stop for today.
The last thing that happens,
Hell yeah.
you see Manny walk up to Gino, his hands still over his ears.
Yeah.
As he's like, Gino, did you know I can hear what my cat hears? I'm really confused.
You're looking at the wrong guy.